Hello.
Welcome, Bratislava.
Thank you very much. Hello, Bratislava. I'm here today to inform you about artificial intelligence. I'm here to give you new information, creative information, and I'm also here to scare you. Because artificial intelligence is the most dangerous technology that we have ever had, including the atomic bomb. And it's changing our world very fast. I'm sorry, you what? Pardon?
Just a small interruption of your presentation.
Sure.
Pre tých, ktorí chcete simultánny preklad, tak je zabezpečený na webe IXPO.sk a môžete si tam nájsť, takže I'm sorry for a short Slovak interruption. You can continue.
Okay. I am being translated, so I will try to speak slowly so that you can understand. We live today in a world that is changing, a world that is dynamic, a world that is going so fast that we as human beings cannot understand it. If you look at this slide for more than a minute, you will get dizzy. But the same is true with reality. Computer growth is not a curve. It's exponential. It grows at rates like this. We all know that from chips and computers that we've had. He knows all about this stuff. And it's more like an explosion than it is like anything else. And it's changing all of our lives. Whatever you do as a job, whatever kind of person you do, your communication, it's all being changed, not in the future, but right now. My talk is not about science fiction, not about dreams. It's about artificial intelligence today in our lives. And it's dangerous. But let me begin with some good news for you. How many people here are actually from Bratislava? A good portion of you. There's good news in artificial intelligence for you because your government, a year and a half ago, started out on a program of digitalization. And it was analyzed by many of the top business analysts in the world, and they discovered that to do this program, they need to develop artificial intelligence. But let me start by explaining a misconception. Many people think artificial intelligence, they confuse it with machines. These are robots developed in this case by DARPA, that's the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. That's the Pentagon. This is a military robot. It belongs to Google or a daughter company from Google. This is not artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is software. And the definition is very easy. It's one sentence definition. Artificial intelligence is software that writes itself. It's not the development of some programmer writing the software. You also see this is Lockheed Martin. That's an evidence that this is a military computer. Software that writes itself is a concept that's very difficult for people to understand. But let's get back to the good news. Artificial intelligence in Slovakia will require, according to the experts who have analyzed it, 250,000 new jobs. New jobs in your country. Lots of people say artificial intelligence destroys jobs, which of course it does because it changes everything. It disrupts everything. But in this case, and in your country, and I assume a lot of you people have to do with IT and developing, it means new work and exciting work. And it's coming at us fast. It's coming at us faster than you can believe. A year ago, I was talking to people and I was saying, we will soon have artificial intelligence automobiles. And the taxi driver on the way to the airport said, but not in my lifetime. He was wrong. These cars are driving with artificial intelligence in Hamburg now. Not driverless cars, But the planning of these cars is done by artificial intelligence. The same is true of this company, by Volkswagen. And the first group is replacing taxis. And now you have 50,000 taxi drivers on the streets demonstrating to save taxis from artificial intelligence. And the next victim will be buses. Because now human beings write the plans for buses. They sit down at a desk, they figure out, oh, here these people have to go to work, and here these. We're not good at that. We can't keep up with artificial intelligence. People today, they take an app. They type in where they want to go, and AI takes 100,000 orders and figures out the shortest routes that will save the most gasoline, that will be the best for the environment, that will drive around all the traffic jams, and eventually replace buses. We won't need buses anymore. And these little cars are autonomous. This is not a little startup operation, ladies and gentlemen. This is serious shit. This is Airbus. Airbus is developing these cars. They look like a Smart, right? We have a Smart too. But they're not Smarts because they'll drive a little distance, and then when they want to go a little farther, they put a hat on and look like this, and then they fly over it in helicopters. There are many people in America who think in 1 year these things will be flying in Dubai and in California. In 1 year. This is coming so fast, people can't understand it. And the people who are going to be hit first are the truck drivers. Truck drivers are the best for artificial intelligence. You're always in one lane. You know exactly where you're going on the Autobahn. They put up a sensor where you have to turn left or turn right. And they're going to be replaced quickest. In fact, in Hamburg Harbor today, 1/3 of all trucks are driving without drivers. And they drive right up to the ramps of the companies, and then automated forklifts take the stuff and bring it from there. And when I saw this picture, I couldn't believe it. But it's true. The Hamburg Lagergesellschaft is planning to put drones on containers. Containers are, number one, heavy, and number two, they're full of delicate equipment. This is the leading company for containers in Europe. These are not daydreams, people. This is happening. And as soon as you develop something new and you turn the world upside down, like Gutenberg did with his printing press, it takes a while. There's an innovation delay. And Gutenberg, it took hundreds of years, actually, before he started to change society. And the same was true with James Watt and his steam engine. It took decades and decades before the change came about. Or with electricity from Thomas Edison. It took decades and decades and decades before change took place. But now, it happens like that, in a split second. If you have a good system, a 14-year-old kid can go into his room, types a tracking number into his computer, and his computer tells him within a microsecond where his package is, and what the driver's name is, and how long it will take to get here. And the amazing thing is, it's all true. That works. Those packages arrive. And I'm here to tell you new stuff. This isn't new stuff anymore. This is our daily lives. There's a software behind that is sorting out and reading and tracking millions, probably billions of packages all around the world. And we don't think anything of it. We have accepted it. I was at my dentist's the other day, and I hear in the background, beep, 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 beep. I say, what's that? The dentist said, it's my new robot. I said, what? What does it do? Well, we scan people's teeth, and then the robot takes a piece of porcelain and goes into the back room and makes a new false tooth. Now, many of you, even most of you who are young, know what it's like to get a false tooth or a replacement. You have to take this stuff and you bite into it and it makes a form, and then they pull it out, and then you wait 3 weeks. This thing makes a new tooth in the back room in 15 minutes. and it doesn't have to be adjusted or changed. You glue it into your mouth and you're finished. This one robot machine wiped out an entire European industry the moment it appeared. And there was no acceptance delay. The machine was there, it was accepted, and everyone bought it, and it's being used every day. Artificial intelligence is growing exponentially, so heißt es in science exponentially. It's an explosion. It's going so fast that we can hardly understand what's happening. And the question is, many say, when will artificial intelligence surpass human beings? When will it be smarter? Well, fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Artificial intelligence has already surpassed us in many areas of our society. And the funny thing is, computers, they used to replace the muscle jobs, the sweat jobs, the lower jobs. But today, artificial intelligence is replacing the top jobs, the smart jobs, and the big money jobs. 10 years ago, or in my youth, a big money job, that was a stock market. You wanted to be a stock market broker. You didn't want to become a millionaire. You wanted to become a billionaire. You wanted to earn real money. In fact, in the year 2000, that was the stock market office in New York City of the largest, I'm from New York City, that's the largest bank in the world, Goldman Sachs. 600 stock market brokers. Today, in that room, there are 2 left. 2 of 600. Everyone else, we don't need them. Why? Because artificial intelligence can do things on the stock market that we can't even dream of. You know, remember the guys who used to run around the stock market with like 6 telephones in each hand? Notes, pads, screaming, yelling. That's what a human being can do. 6 telephones. Artificial intelligence can have 6,000 or 600,000 telephones and get information in the global Google size and calculate a little breeze in Singapore. It's going to be a typhoon, and it's going to slam up against the Japanese coast, and it's going to affect Sony and then the other companies, and they calculate what it means for the stock market. At the same time, down in Chile, they have a new union. They had a new election, and they've elected a radical guy, and he's in charge of the union down there. Well, he's going to increase the price of copper because he's going to strike. An artificial intelligence can examine 100,000, 200,000, millions of pieces of information like that and project them into the future. And that's why today we don't need human stockbrokers anymore. What could be more important than finance? Our lives, our health. You heard a very interesting talk today from someone in the health AI business. Radiologists. That was one of the most important, best paid, highly educated jobs in medicine. I went to the 3 leading hospitals in Germany, Charité, Marburg, Universitätsklinikum in Essen. All 3 leading radiologists said the machines do it better than we do. We as humans can't do it because they're able to look inside the bits and bytes of an MRT or a CI and recognize a tumor before it starts. They're better than that, than we are. It's the top jobs that are getting lost. This guy's a surgeon, and he's in the middle of an operation. He's got his back to the patients. He's on the other side of the room with the nurses and the anesthetic people. He's operating on a PlayStation kind of joystick. People do that all around the world today. That's nothing new. That's not a futuristic vision. That's reality here today. Now, all you smart people are so smart that you don't need to take notes, right? No one here, I haven't seen anyone taking notes? Fine. Ah, there you go. Why don't you write down the following? Or anyone else, you want to take a note? This is the note. Write down on your paper 200. 200. Write it down, it's important. I'll explain that in a second. 200 million. 200 million pieces of paper can be analyzed in this computer in 3 seconds. In 3 seconds. That's Watson. Wrap your human head around a computing power that analyzes hundreds of millions of pages of information in 3 seconds. And the information that I tell you now is probably old because I got it like 4 weeks ago, and things are changing very fast. This is us. 1,200 grams, 36 billion neurons, 20 watts. That's a human brain. I don't know if any of you have in your heads, in your 20-watt brains, the capability of doing 200 million pages in 3 seconds. It's not the way we think. We don't think in numbers like that. And computers don't think like humans do either. We're different, and they're different. And I'd like to explain it to you. Oh, I don't know what that was. Oh, wrong button. Here we go. When a computer is vacuuming your floor, like they put an LED on an iRobot, and then it doesn't have a plan. You put it on the floor, and it just starts rolling until it hits the wall, and then it comes back the other way, and then it hits the wall. Has no plan whatsoever. It's completely stupid, random. But at one point, it just notices where it's been. The floor is finished. If you take the game of chess, we like to think this is a very intellectual game. We have a strategy when we play chess. We used it to teach our royals how to win wars. And this is the rook, and this is the queen and the bishop, and they put pressure, and then you put somebody in check. We have a strategy. We have a plan. When Watson plays chess, he has no plan. He divides himself in the middle. Half of him is white, and the other half is black, and he makes some stupid move, and then he makes another stupid move, and he makes another stupid move, and another stupid move. No plan, no strategy. He read no chess books. He just made stupid moves. But he's moving at a speed of 200 million pages in 3 seconds. So how long does it take him to play a game of chess? Well, a fraction of a second. And just by crunching numbers, pure mathematics, algorithms, he suddenly got all the possible computer games in his computer. And he doesn't have a strategy. He doesn't move forward or backward. He just has still photographs of different situations on a chessboard, and he knows what to do. They think differently than we do, but their computing power, their numbers, their algorithms are so strong, we're lost. And they're watching you. Like right over here, this gentleman's on his iPhone. Did you know that the iPhone companies watch your finger movements? Not just what you click, not where you go, not what you buy. No, the movement of your finger. Or if it's at home, a sales computer, they watch the movement of the mouse. They analyze that. They can tell you within split seconds if you're going to buy and what you're going to buy, just by the way you move your finger. Or you go into a department store. There's a department store chain in Germany. I'm not allowed to name it. They would probably sue me. The name is Saturn. When you walk through their department store, you have a spy in your pocket. It's your smartphone. It's watching everything you do. It's recording everywhere you go. And it's informing the supermarket who you are and where you are, how much money you have, and what you like to buy. And these digital signs, it's an experimental program. These digital signs will be changed for you. They will put up a price on something to make you buy it, something that you can afford. And then when you get to the cash register with your coffee machine, you will get that price. The man behind you or the woman behind him, they may get totally different prices. We are being watched everywhere we go. And data is being recorded in sizes that we can't imagine. Billions and billions of information. Now, in medicine, all of our medical knowledge has been derived by these people with 20-watt brains. Not very smart compared to an artificial intelligence. Everything we know about the killer diseases like cancer, Alzheimer, all of these horrible diseases, we know from little tiny sample groups. In Cleveland Clinic, how many 300 people have been examined? In Harvard Medical School, 3,000. In the Charité, maybe 30,000. Just little tiny groups of people. And everything we know about these horrible diseases, we know from those little tiny groups. But the thing is, there's a population out there of people, a population of human beings that have Alzheimer. And buried in this tsunami of information are little tiny hints. When you put them together, when you analyze them in the Google world, worldwide, you discover there are connections between this piece of information and the disease. You can discover things that you never knew about these diseases because computer intelligence is smarter than we are. And we're always collecting data. And food. I did some computer consulting for a company involved in the food chain. Now, you may all know that your eggs in the supermarket today, they're labeled. Where they are, who the chicken was, what kind of chicken feed he had. Just a couple of things. But every egg has thousands and thousands of data that's collected automatically by sensors. They can track that egg. And that's important for us. When we later eat our chicken, we want to know today, where did my chicken come from? Where's he been living? Who were his parents? What's he been eating? What kind of antibiotics? What kind of antibiotics had my chicken had? The same is true in the fields. When we take care of our fields as a farmer, we try to put our fertilizers where they're needed. And if we think there's a problem with insects or funguses, we'll put some poison on it, like glyphosate. And the amazing thing is, we don't need to put tons and tons and tons of poison out, because our fast machines that race across the fields, pushing the wrong button again, sorry. They are analyzing 1 million plants in an hour. They analyze the plants, how are they growing, and are they diseased? Do they need to be taken care of? With the help of artificial intelligence, we can reduce our poisons in our agriculture from thousands and thousands of tons down to 1 thimbleful, because only the infected plants individually get treated. All other plants are left free of poisons. This alone can change the world. I like fruit juice, a passion fruit, maracuya juice, and it's produced mostly in Pakistan. But the work problem is they have to sort out all of the bad ones. Now they have machines with the help of artificial intelligence that can sort 500,000 in an hour. And suddenly, passion fruit is a viable product. Suddenly, these very, very poor farmers can live from it. My time is running out here. This is getting terrible. This is the great race for AI. There are 2 countries that are in the race. One of them is the United States of America, where I come from. The other one is China. China never took AI seriously. They didn't care if AI beat somebody in chess, because they don't play chess, but they play Go. Go, a normal game of Go, has more options than we can see in the galaxy of stars. It's a mathematical pit. And when they discovered that our computers were beating their best Go players, they started taking it very seriously, and in the shortest of time, they caught up with us. In some fields now, the Chinese are better than the Americans are. Their advantages, for example, are that they have more internet users than all of Europe and the United States together. They have 200 million mobile food orders every day. Every day. Hey, I'm not even at 5 minutes yet. And they do $17 trillion on smartphone payments every year. We have a lot of thoughts that we make about data security, but data is what feeds artificial intelligence. It's the food that makes it smart. The venture capitalists of the world are investing 1/3 of their money today in startups in China. Germany invests $3 billion in the next couple of years. One city in China, Shenzhen, invests $16 billion in a few years. So they are jumping ahead of us very fast. We like to think, especially in Germany, of the great old days of expertise. Made in Germany was a magical word, but it's not valid anymore. It's been replaced by the age of big data. And big data is always being replaced by bigger data. And that is more important than everything else. Are you a machine or no? The amount of data you have is the strength that your artificial intelligence will have. There are ways to protect your data. I'll sort of jump through this real quick. I only have 3 minutes. I hate it. The best way to protect your data is to encode all of your mails. This is the stuff you read in the newspapers. Journalists are supposed to avoid Google and Yahoo. Well, good luck as a journalist if you avoid Google and Yahoo. Use servers that are national. And then deep under the Alps, they have this one company is selling servers that are locked in this thing here. That doesn't help you because you have to put the data in and you have to take the data out, and it's going through a cable. And there will be other people on that cable listening and watching what you do. If you encode everything, I was talking to a very nice lady who said she's very much involved in encoding. She would like to protect her data from the NSA. The NSA surveillance is not allowed. They cannot look at my mails. They're not allowed to. It's against the law, unless I encode it. Then I'm inviting them in to look at my emails. Protecting your emails, protecting your data is something you cannot do. You can all give it up to John McAfee. Do you all know John McAfee? Security? No? Oh, they sell a lot of security software, and he's famous for his software and also famous for his private habits, which include cocaine and prostitutes. Eugene Kaspersky is also, anybody here know Kaspersky, please? Yes. He's a personal friend of Putin, and he also works for the Russian secret services. So it's hard to protect your stuff. Let's see, I got 1 minute and 24, so I'm going to have to jump through all of my military stuff. I hate it. I will be sitting back here at the Academy of Science because we don't have a question and answer session here. And I certainly think and expect some of you will have questions and answers. So in a half an hour, I'll be back here at the Academy of Sciences. They have a little room, and be happy to answer any questions you may have. I also have business cards with me, and all I have time now is to say thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being here.